looks like we are live because I can hear my voice now in the background.
Okay,
So
awesome.
live.
Let's see.
Okay, and let me just double check in the stream because I think
Yep.
appointments. Just updating the title. Okay, hello, and let's see. Yeah, we're live over there.
Awesome.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, we're both wearing green. St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, for St. Patrick's Day.
Very cute. Okay, let's just wait for probably a minute and then we will officially start this session's live stream. But anyway, it's already 1 p.m. EST. Okay, wait, hang on. Let me just prepare some stuff on my end. Okay, so hi everybody, welcome. I see a few people joining live right now. Let's see. Yeah, okay. And also, as you are catching up this recording, hello as well, whatever time of day you were in right now. Okay, so just to recap our previous session. So last week we walked through how to create, or Maria here showed you how to create simple pipeline stages within the platform Growth Genie 360 and also use the power of automation, attach automation so that it triggers the next step. Okay, so today we're going to have another specific topic, but let me just remind you guys that you can always use the comment section if you have any specific question, either during the live session or as you watch the recording, or yeah, even later, because the live video is always available. And then you can always use the support channel if you have any questions specific to the platform or to your scenario, to your system. Okay? So without any further ado, walk let's now open this session for calendars. Okay? So for sure you have your own calendar, be it Google Calendar and Outlook. Uh yeah, and even most business owners start with a calendar that works well enough to get by. But once bookings become consistent, you also start to see some small scheduling problems, but they may cost time and opportunities. So, in your end, instead of you focusing on the conversation or the sale, you end up managing the reminders, thinking about oh, will these people show up? I have to text them, I have to send them an email, and so on. Or if there's a rescheduling, do you need to do about those kinds of things? Or if there's scheduling mistakes. Most of the time we see this coming down to these three common issues. Number one, no shows. Okay, for example, someone books but they never appear. And that is time lost. You have prepared. Unfortunately, they did not show up, and that's just sad. You prepared for your meeting, but they did not show up. Okay, and then another thing that could happen is double bookings, overlapping appointments, and that creates confusion when your scheduling isn't controlled by a single system. And then the pain parts, manual reminders. Every time you have an appointment, it requires extra work just to make sure that actually happens. So if you have 10 appointments in a week, then you have to do 10 manual reminders, and sometimes you tend to forget that. Okay, so having a well set up calendar system removes all those friction, those three things that I've said. What happens? The system confirms the appointments automatically, sends reminders automatically, and of course, protects your time so that your booking actually turns into real conversations. So that's what we'll walk through today. Maria will show you some great stuff today, how to turn your calendar into a simple system that consistently turn bookings into confirmed appointments. All right, so that's just my simple introduction for today. Now, take it away, Maria.
Alrighty, thank you, Diana. That is great. Let me go ahead and start by sharing my screen here. Okay, so like Diana mentioned, we're going to be talking about uh, calendars today, okay? And I'm gonna demonstrate a few things. We're going to set up a calendar together, and I'm gonna show you what best to do to optimize that setup. And then we're also going to automate a reminder sequence for 24 hours and 1 hour. And we're going to talk about reschedule and cancellation links. And we're also going to be talking about adding qualification questions. And if this doesn't make sense just yet, it will all make sense as we get going and talking through the process of calendars. Alrighty. So first of all, we are here inside of Growth Journey 360, and the one, two, three, fourth menu item from the left hand menu is going to be calendars. So as you can see straight away, calendar shows you all your calendar items, and you at the top you see calendar view, appointment list view, and calendar settings. In order to create a calendar, we're gonna go to calendar settings. All right, now when we're in calendar settings, you're going to be able to see all of the calendars that you've created. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new calendar, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about these different calendar types because there are quite a few, and sometimes it can be really confusing. So just to kind of give you like a quick overview of what each of them are. So personal booking is going to be your simple one-on-one booking calendar tied to a specific person. So that's what we're going to set up today. That is, if somebody wants to meet with me, then just me. That's it. Then you set that one up. Okay, round robin. This one works best for rotating appointments between multiple team members so that appointments are distributed evenly. So this is best for companies that have multiple salespeople. And then when a new lead comes in and wants to make an appointment, it automatically rotates the appointment. So every lead is distributed evenly. That way you're not giving more leads to one salesperson over the other. Alrighty, the next one is going to be class booking. And class booking allows multiple people to book at the same time slot for a shared session. So if the other the other calendars are not going to let multiple people make an appointment with you at the same time, right? Because that's not how you set up a meeting. When you have a meeting, you're meeting with one company, and you're not wanting to have another company be able to schedule at the same time. So class booking makes it so that you can have multiple people schedule at the same time. So this is best for webinars or workshops or even group training. So if you're doing like an internal employee training, you can go ahead and just set that up for your team members. Alrighty. Collective booking. Now, this one is a fun one. I like it because it combines like the if you're in charge of this calendar, like if we add your information in here, then it's going to check everybody's calendar. So let me just give you a little bit of what a background on what a collective booking calendar is. It requires multiple hosts to be available at the same time for one appointment. So this is for like if you wanted to meet with both of us, with Maria and Diana, then this would be where our calendars, this is would be the type of calendar link that we would send you. And you would only be able to see and schedule time that we're both available. So if I have a meeting right now and then Diana has a meeting in 1 hour and you want to meet with both of us, you're going to have to wait until Diana's free and I'm free to meet with both of us. So this is great for trainings or when you need to have two people on the call. All right. Event calendars. This is a
Oh
new
yeah.
feature if I'm not
Yeah, as
mistaken, right?
for collective booking, I remember, for example, if you have what's that? Wait, what's about to say it? Okay, so you have a candidate, and then that candidate will be interviewed by two or three hiring team or kind of like
Yeah.
management or leadership in your team. So I remember that. Okay,
Yeah, that's a good
interesting.
one. Yeah, that's a good one. And then you don't have to be guessing, hey, when is everybody available? You just kind of put all of the calendars in there and you can schedule. You can send that to your candidate to schedule their own meeting, or you can schedule them on your own. Alrighty, so event calendar is kind of a newer calendar that we've been testing with Edwin here has been testing a lot of. And it basically it's used for events that aren't tied to a specific host availability. So if you're doing like I don't know, like a seminar that's from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and you have multiple hosts and it's just an event basically. So you can use this calendar. So it's good for conferences, for public events or in-person gatherings. Alrighty, and then the sixth type is going to be service booking, and your service booking calendar is designed for service-based businesses. So that's where these appointments may involve services, duration, staff, or resources. So if you have a nail salon, you might want to use this specific um, calendar. Alrighty, does that kind of make sense? Yes.
Yeah, it sounds clear. Everything sounds clear.
Okay, awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and make a personal booking calendar. Okay, straight away because I'm the one making the calendar, it's going to select me automatically as as the owner of the calendar. That means that anytime I send in a calendar link, that's gonna check me. You can add, you can do another person, but because it is a personal one, it's not gonna let you choose more than one person. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick myself, and then this is going to be Maria's test calendar. Okay. And it's going to come up with a custom URL. I recommend that you make it something like this. Don't leave it as the standard. And then right away, we're going to go ahead and do a 30-minute duration. Okay. And then booking availability, it automatically go ahead, like goes and, it's my availability. So we're going to go ahead and click advanced settings. And that's going to take us to this nice little area where we can continue to work on our calendar settings. Okay, so you can add a logo to your calendar. And then before we kind of get started, just kind of let me show you what this is going to look like, okay, so that you can get an idea. So here's my test calendar, super simple. It's just a calendar. Okay, if you wanted to add a logo, that would kind of appear up here at the top, okay? And then you can also add a description. So, hey, like this calendar is for a test. Alrighty. And then I would save that and then it would show up here. Let me just show you really quick how that saves. And this calendar is for a test. So this is where all of your information for description of the specific event would go. All right. And then you have group and you can, if you have a group like specific, if you're sectioning off your calendars, you can use that. So if we are doing like internal or support calendars or anything like that, then we would put them in that group. Meeting invite link. This is the link that like the email that's going to come up when the email subject that's going to come up when this invitation for the meeting gets sent out to your customer, your client, and then also the meeting invite title on the calendar when they, go into their Google Calendar or anything like that. So you don't want to leave it as just contact name. So if Diana were to schedule an appointment with me, it would just say Diana, and that's confusing. All right. So you would put something like here, Maria and meeting, and then you would put something like Growth Genie. You would put your company, all right, your company name. That way it makes it a little bit more clear. Hey, who are you meeting with? Because a lot of times clients, they lose track they lose track of things and they don't know who they're meeting with. And they might be like, oh, well, this meeting is not important. All righty. Staff and location. So staff, that's me, okay, automatically chooses that. Meeting location. So you can pick from any of these, Zoom, Google Meet, phone, address, etc. And of course, you can do your own custom one. I like to do my own custom one because I like all my meetings to fall under the same Google Meet URL. But if you just click Google Meet, it'll create a new Google Meet URL for you every single time. So you can just do that. Alrighty. And then we're going to save changes and it's going to take us to the availability. All right. So availability is just going to be my own availability. So as a standard, it's going to pick your setting standards that we set up during the onboarding. and your working hours, basically. So for me, I work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but I don't like to take meetings like at 8 a.m. because I just got in and I'm not ready.
Yeah.
So, and it's happened before. People are scheduling at 8 a.m. and I'm like, what? I just got here. And so my meeting time availability is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is the only time I want to meet with people. I don't want to meet before that. I don't want to meet after because I'd like to, not stay past 5 unless it's like necessary, which we're totally flexible. But, and then you can also do date specific hours. So say that you have this ongoing meeting every single week, but it's only on Wednesdays, or you have a specific service that you offer, like, I just want to meet with the marketing people every Wednesday. I don't want to give them any options to schedule for another day. You can actually do that. So it's you can edit the schedule or customize schedule for this calendar only, and then you can add a specific time. So that's what's really cool about these calendars, that they let you customize for absolutely everything. So right now, I'm not gonna make these changes because I don't want to mess up my other calendars. But you basically can do a meeting at a day and literally make it so that you can only book with people on one day. That one day, you don't want them to have any more access to your calendar, just that one day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. if that's what you want. Alrighty, so after that, we're going to go to booking rules. So now booking rules is very important, and it's very overwhelming because you're just seeing a lot of fields to fill out. So I'm going to explain these a little bit. And it's also explained when you click on the little eye. It's pretty standard right here. And so your meeting intervals are going to be 30 minutes long. So basically, I only have 30-minute like spots for people. After that, I have to, move on. We have to stop the meeting and move on. But you can also do it by hours. If you want to have a 12-hour meeting, that, go ahead. um, let's see that. Okay, so your meeting, your meeting. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was meeting duration. I apologize. I got a little bit confused. So meeting interval is how many intervals you show in on your calendar. So it would show like 10 a.m., 10:30, 11, 11:30. So if you only want to have meetings every single hour, then you can do your intervals at 1 hour. Okay. So sometimes people just don't like, sometimes people just like even numbers and they don't want to have any meetings on the 30-minute mark. Okay. Scheduling notice. So if you're a salesperson, you probably want to have like at least like what, 2 hours or something like that to get ready for a meeting, but you want to turn those leads quickly, right? Unless you want to have like 12 hours. This just basically means that people can't book within those hours that you, or minutes that you give it, that you set here in the minimum schedule notice. So I don't like to have meetings right away. Like I like to have a 12-hour, and that's pretty standard, honestly, like a 12-hour interval schedule notice, because I need to get ready for whatever it is that we are addressing in the call. If I don't give myself enough time, I might not be ready. I might not be able to help my clients specifically with what they need. Alrighty. So, and then for date range is just going to be how far out you want your dates in your calendar to show. So if you only want to have the next 2 weeks available, you can go ahead and do that. All right. Sometimes you are available for the next 5 months. If you don't take any like vacations or time off, you're like, I have availability for the rest of the year. You can do that. Pre-buffer time and post-buffer time. That's going to be usually like a little 5 minute or 10 minute between your meetings, so that you can take a breather, basically, because you don't want to have back-to-back meetings with no time in between for resting, or getting a drink of water or something like that. And I've had situations like that before where I have a meeting like 6 hours straight. um,
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's not fun. So you wanna set up a little pre-buffer time. You can do as little as 1 minute, 5 minutes. If you need more time to decompress, 10 minutes. You know. Okay, maximum bookings per day. So this is basically if you are getting a lot of appointments and you just cannot handle any more than like 5 appointments per day, you can set it to only allow 5 people to book during that day. Alrighty, and then maximum bookings per slot, basically just one person for meetings. You don't want other people to be able to schedule especially if it's like a demo or something like that. Now, the look busy one is really fun. So if you're trying to get a sale or something like that, and you're telling the client, "Hey, like I'm busy. Like, look, my schedule's filling up." But you're not actually busy. You can set it up to make yourself look like you're busy. So this is a fun little option that we offer as well. All righty. And then we're gonna go to advanced settings. So this is kind of where we get to a little bit more of like, hey, what is my form going to look like? All right, so let me just show you really quick. Let's go check out the form. After you pick your time and date, it's going to show you a little form that has your name, last name, phone, email, and then any additional information. That is the standard. That is the default that this form comes with, okay? And that's just what's gonna happen. And right here in the widget order is giving us what order you want that in. So if you want the form filled out before, you can put the form ahead of the date and time selector. So as you saw, we were able to pick our time and then fill out the form with our information for the meeting. You want to pre-populate fields like sticky contacts. If somebody has that enabled on their computer or on their browser, then you can do that. You have to have the consent checkbox because your client has to agree to receive emails from you. And then you want to do add guests usually because that will enable your clients to invite other people that might need to also be in the meeting. So let me just go ahead and show you really quick what that would look like. And you go 18, add guest right here. Alrighty. Okay. And then this is just like your thank you email, your thank you message. So this is pretty standard. You can also create a nice little page that says, "Hey, thank you. Your schedule. Here's the information." Now, I do want to. It's hidden right here at the bottom, but it's very important. I do want to make sure that you know that auto confirming a new calendar meeting is mostly the standard. I think there are some exceptions where you don't confirm the meetings right away, but I would recommend that you auto confirm your new calendar meetings if you are doing demos or any type of meeting with your client. Because if you don't, then the client's going to get a bunch of emails like and there could and it could be confusing if you have a client that's not used to reading their emails or they're kind of like just looking through really quick. So if you don't click this off, what would happen is that the email would be unconfirmed until you go in and confirm it manually. All right, so this has a lot of uses which are great. I think for like demo meetings or anything like that, you don't need that. I would recommend auto confirming, and that just confirms your meeting right away. Alrighty. Now let's talk about payments. So the really cool thing about this system is that it allows you to take payments. So once once you integrate your payment your credit card processor, you can start accepting payments. So if this is sort of like a workshop that you're charging for, you can go ahead and do payments. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that would look like. All right, so your total amount is $10, and then you can schedule your meeting. Okay, so now we're not gonna want to charge people for that, but I do recommend that if this is something like I don't know, like a workshop again, or anything that you're charging your services, like then you can go ahead and use that. Notifications and policy. So this is a great place to set up notifications, but I'm going to show you a different way to do notifications after we're done setting up our calendar. So let's leave this as is, except for the reschedule and the cancellation ones. So let me go ahead and give you like a little bit look of what this looks like. So if your client needs to reschedule or cancel, then they'll get an email saying like, "Hey, somebody canceled." You can enable this to send out emails. You can also do SMS and in-app. Okay, so for your contact, this is going to be the person who scheduled. And it comes with a pretty standard email. You can make a little template. I would recommend that you do that. And then the assigned user is going to be like myself because I'm in charge of this meeting. And then guest is going to be the person that they add as a guest. And if there's no guest, it's not going to send anything out. And additional emails, like let's say that Diana needs to know for I don't know, for whatever reason that I if somebody canceled the meeting, then I go ahead and add her email on there, and then she'll also get it. So let's go ahead and see that. Alrighty, and then I recommend that you do that with cancellation and reschedule. Some additional settings that you kind of want to play with is assign contacts to their respective calendar team members each time an appointment is booked. So this basically means going back to our basics, that the contact inside of Growth Genie 360 would be assigned to me. You can do that or not, whatever fits best for you. And then allow rescheduling, because you don't want somebody to be rescheduling like a minute before. You want to do like, I don't know, maybe like an hour or maybe a day, anything like that. You can go ahead and do that. And I would recommend that you leave this enabled. And to do that, and this is the third party calendar setting. So that would mean that your Google would automatically invite somebody to the meeting, which I think you should do. So I would recommend that you keep that enabled. And then your widget appearance is basically colors. So as you can see, ours is blue. You can change the colors, and it kicked me out of my calendar. Okay. But that's basically it for when it comes to setting up your calendar. I know it seems like a lot of information, but this is everything you need when it comes to setting up your calendar. Anything so far, Diana? Any questions?
No, I think so far it's clear.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, so our next item, the next thing that we're going to show you is how to automate a reminder
By
sequence.
the way, just don't
Alrighty,
forget to
go
save
ahead.
it.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. That's
the
right.
save
We
and
talked about that.
name. Ah, okay, okay. Sorry, go
Yeah, we
ahead.
talked about that. No, 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 no worries. Yeah, thank you for reminding me because I did forget about that, even though we talked about that. um, here at the right top hand corner here, you might not see it because I think my picture is there, but there's a big blue button that says Save Changes. Don't forget to save your changes after you're done, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay. So another item that's very like a little that I want to point out and that Diana and I had talked about is the status of your calendar. So you do want to make sure that the status is active. It used to be that standard was that it would automatically be deactivated and you had to activate it, but now it's like just activated automatically. But say that you want to keep this calendar here, but you don't want to use it right now, you can deactivate your calendar. And what that does is basically puts it in draft mode specifically, and then nobody can see that link anymore. Alrighty. So, and then you can activate your calendar again. And this is very, very handy if you want to save a calendar that's no longer used, but you want to kind of like duplicate it, or even if you're just not offering that service at the moment and then you want to offer it later on. That way you don't have to delete it or start all over again. And that link to that calendar doesn't live out in the internet, even though you're not sending it to people. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go through the notifications. So we're gonna go back at the top right here, and we're gonna go to automations. All right, so now this is where we get down to putting something together. And I know it's like overwhelming at first, but you do this at the beginning, and then you never have to do it again unless you need to update it. But let's go ahead and create your workflow. And again, you can build this using your AI. Like you can just tell it, hey, this is the workflow. I want this to happen. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it by hand. So these are going to be the appointment follow ups. I'm going to do test so I don't confuse it. Okay. So our first trigger is going to be appointment status. Alrighty. And this is the appointment is going to be event type normal, and then the filter is going to be appointment status is confirmed. And this is why I was telling you, make sure that you set up your to auto confirm, because that matters when you send the follow-up. So confirmed, and then in calendar, because you have to pick which calendar. Otherwise, it's not going to know, hey, which calendar are you talking about? All right, so we're going to go to Maria's test calendar. So now it knows that anytime there's a confirmed appointment in Maria's test calendar, you're going to do the following actions. All right, so first off, we want to send an internal notification. And we're going to send an email and then we're going to send it to myself. So Growth Genie 360, and then the email is going to be, I don't know, like something like info. Okay, and then the user type, you can go ahead and do assigned user, and it would automatically go to me, or you can do particular user, and then it would automatically. You can pick your name out of the list. So I'm gonna pick myself, and then my subject is going to be, uh, let's see, first name. So we're gonna go to contact, first name, scheduled a meeting with you. Okay. And you can have a little template that you make and you put in here, and then you just kind of like repeat it for any type of notification that you need. But here I'm going to go ahead and just put something super quick. And then we say, hi, Maria, since this is specifically going to me. And then we're going to do a little bit of custom value work here. And contact name, that means that whoever filled out that form, that's going to change every single time. All right. So that's why we're doing this. It's a little bit confusing at first. Once you get the hang of it, you will be running through this really fast. All righty. So this is going to say, Maria, this person scheduled ooh, a meeting with you. Here are the details. Okay. And then we're going to go to custom values again, and we are going to go to appointment, and then we're going to do title. That's going to be the name of my calendar. And then we are going to go back here, start date, and then start time. Oh, I did start date again. And then we're going to do start time. And then you can add whatever other type of information that you would like. Okay, so you have day of the week, name of month, cancellation link, rescheduling link, meeting location is something that I would. This is your internal, like notification to yourself, so you can basically have it say whatever you want. If you just want to be like, hey, this person has a meeting with you, like that's it. All right. Next step is going to be the email that your client is going to receive as a confirmation. So we want to make sure that it comes from you probably. So user, that's going to be me. So full name, that's going to be Maria. And then email is going to be user email, and that's going to be my email. Alrighty. And once we send that out, what that will look like. And then you can also just like literally straight up put in your name just so that if this is like if you're like what are these custom values, they're super confusing. Just make sure they come out from you, that way they know, hey, like this person sent out this email. And then our let's see, it's going to have their first name, so we're going to do first name, your meeting with, and then of course we're going to go to user, and then has been confirmed. Alrighty. And then we'll do something really quick like, hey, and you can always come back and you're like, what was that? Like that code. Hey, um, your meeting with Maria has been confirmed. Here are the details. And then you want to go ahead and give them the details of that by going to your custom values. And then you go to appointment, you click title is the one that I recommend you add on there. And then also start date and time. So this one will pull both the date and the time. And then you might want to do a cancellation link and a rescheduling link. You don't want to make your client feel like they're being trapped into your, into your meeting. And then you probably want to add to Google Calendar just in case, and then add to Outlook as well, just in case. And then obviously you want to make it look nice. So for the sake of time, I'm not gonna do much with it. It's just gonna be super simple. All right. And then you can also set up a text. So you can literally say, hey, we're gonna send you a text. Your meeting was scheduled, blah, blah, blah. But you can do that as well. Alrighty. So the meeting has been set, your confirmation email has been sent out, and now you want to make sure that this client doesn't forget your meeting, because people are busy, and even though they have something in their calendar, sometimes they're so busy they're not even paying attention. What happens next? So what happens next is that you want to go ahead and do a wait, okay? And we are going to wait for event appointment time. Okay. And this is going to wait for the appointment time. And it's important that we do that and we don't just do like a wait for time delay 3 days because then we're just kind of, if we do the time delay only, it's going to do 2 days from when that person made the appointment, even though their appointment is next week. Okay, so this looks for the time that the appointment is set up at, the date and the time, and then it waits until you tell it. So 24 hours before the it's a day. 1 day before the event, it's going to move your client forward. And then this is where you start working on those follow reminder emails. And the great part is that you can just go ahead here and then copy action and you copy and paste. So that way you don't really have to be like coming up with anything new. So you would say like, hey, contact name, just a reminder. All right, so just a reminder that your meeting with Maria is in 24 hours. Here are the details. Okay, super simple. You're basically just copying and pasting, and you want to do that again 1 hour. Again, people are so busy. You send them 24-hour follow-up, and they'll forget. I know that I do. Usually, I get appointment reminders from my doctor 24 hours before I have an appointment with him, and then I like forget about it until I get that email, that text message that says, "Hey, your appointment's in 1 hour." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So you want to go ahead and copy the wait again if you don't want to do it again. And instead of 1 day, we're going to do 1 hour. Okay. Everything is the same as we set up previously. You just change the time and you want to go ahead and copy action again and do it under here. And if you want to label this like 1 hour before, you can. That way you don't get you don't get confused. And then uh, your appointment with Maria is in 1 hour. All right. So that kind of changes it. That's kind of like an easy way to get your what's it called? Your workflow done without having to create emails and everything over and over. So if you want to send them out like a bunch of reminders like every single minute before their their meeting, you can. You literally just you set it up once and then you copy and paste. All right. Now here at the very right hand side top, don't forget to switch your toggle from draft to publish because if you don't, it's not going to work. And then we're going to click save. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and head over to my email, and we're gonna test this calendar and see what the changes that we made look like. Okay, so we're
Woohoo,
gonna go
let's
ahead and schedule.
see.
Yeah, hopefully it works. We're gonna go ahead and do. We're doing our little GG uh, test email. Okay, and this is our office number. So if you're thinking that you're going to get to Maria, you will, but only during work hours. um, okay. Alrighty. And then we're just going to do test. Okay. And then that just kind of might take a little while, but here's your meeting schedule. As you can see, you can add it on your Google Calendar. I just got a notification on my Lead Connector app that says appointment confirmed. Appointment with Gigi is confirmed. So that has been confirmed for me as the person who will be, doing the appointment with Gigi. So let me go ahead and show you. It says Gigi scheduled a meeting with you. Okay, so here are the details. Gigi and Maria and G. There we go. 14360, and it gives you the time. Obviously, like you want to make it nice. I kind of did it all together. So it looks a little bit, like there's no space, but you do this like this. This is your internal notification. So this is for me. And then this is for Gigi, who scheduled the meeting. All right. And you want to go ahead and obviously make it nice. Again, this looks a little bit messy, but that's okay. And this shows you, hey, your meeting with Maria has been confirmed. Here are the details. And then it gives you the details. All right. And it also gives you the cancel booking and the rescheduling. And when you're setting those up, you probably want to set them up as URL like linked text. That way it doesn't look this messy. Alrighty, so now let's go back to our workflow. Now that that worked, I'm really happy that that worked. That's how you set it up. But sometimes you're setting something up like live, and I swear, like it just stops working. Like it just decides it's not going to work. It,
Well, today you're lucky.
I
St.
know.
Patrick's Day.
Yes, that is so true. Alrighty, so as you can see, my little person is right here, and this is actually Gigi. She's just waiting for 24 hours before the meeting so that we can move to the next step. And then as always, you can look at the enrollment history. And as you start sending this out and as your clients start making an appointment, it'll start filling out and you can find all of everybody who's clicked and made an appointment, you can find them here. So if that client's like, hey, I made an appointment and you didn't show up, and you're like, I don't see you here. It might be that you didn't click the submit button, which happens. Alrighty. And then execution log, it just kind of tells you what's been done so far. So right here, right now, we're waiting. We're waiting until 24 hours before that meeting to send out that follow-up meeting link. Alrighty. So again, that is how you do that. And then we did talk about the cancellation and uh, rescheduling URLs. I'm going to just show you what those look like. Okay. So right here in this email, as you can see, this is my cancel booking. So why are we canceling? And then, it would be nice to like have, you can just not show up to the meeting, but you can also just provide a cancellation. I don't know. I'm busy. Let's schedule later. Oh, but there's a rescheduling link. Okay. So we want to reschedule. This is our reschedule link. And then we'll see when we reschedule. All right. As you can see, it's rescheduling me. Isn't that nice? So it's a really, really fun thing to play with. Okay, so right here, it just sends out the same items again. So your meeting has been confirmed. Here are the details, etc., and all of that. Alrighty. Now, let's go back to our calendar really quick because I want to show you something that is very, very important that we didn't talk about when we created this calendar initially, because I wanted to show you how the workflows work and how your client goes through the process of getting notifications and how you set that up. But a lot of times you create a calendar for a specific reason. If it's for marketing or something like that, you want to make sure that the person that you are having the meeting with is a qualified lead. And basically, a qualified lead is going to be somebody who's ready, who fits the description of what you're selling, or the next step that you're trying to take, the conversion that you're trying to make, and who is ready to move forward. So say that you have somebody with a budget of $10, but you don't have a plan that's $10. You only have the plan starting at $100. You want to ask those type of questions before they schedule to make sure that this is the right fit. Okay, that doesn't mean that you're not going to see them. This just means that you go into your meeting with expectations of what the meeting's going to look like. So for that, we're going to go to advanced settings, form and confirmation. So as we talked earlier, the form comes as a default with first name, last name, email, phone, and notes. You can also do any forms that you would like. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, here's my form. And it's a very, very basic form. It says full name, phone number, and email. We're going to go ahead and, oops, I don't want to open the logic. And we're going to we're going to add a new area right here. Text. Okay, and then we're going to name it, what's your budget? This also helps you know like where the client's thinking. So if the client has an $100 budget, you don't want to show them your $1,000 budget plans because they're not going to be able to afford that, but you are going to show them your $100 plans. So this helps you, this helps everybody. This helps your client, this helps you. What's your budget? Okay, so we have that set up as a requirement. That way the person who fills that out will have to fill it out. Alrighty, and then you can add as many other qualifications that you would like. So an issue that, I think everybody comes up against is like if you're trying to get jobs in the service industry, and you're trying to get them from, say, San Francisco, and then you're having people from, like, I don't know, New York filling out that form. That's not gonna help you. So you want to make sure that you know, like, hey, where are you? I don't know, like, where are you located? Obviously, this is very like put together, not very put together. So you want to have a plan and set this up correctly, because if this is kind of a random form. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and save that, and I'm gonna refresh because it had a different name, and I think it's going to take me all the way up. Yep, it did. Alrighty, so we're gonna go advanced settings and form and confirmation. And now we're gonna look for our test form. Our test form is right here, and it is going to give us all this information. Again, save changes at the very top. Remember, if you don't save, it's not going to work. And now we're going to go back into our calendar to see the changes. All right, so let's schedule a meeting. Oh, oops, this is the rescheduling link. Let me go ahead and go to my link for my meeting. Alrighty, and we're going to schedule for the 19th. And now you see you have full name, phone number, email, and then what's your budget and where are you located. So now your client, the person trying to schedule with you, they have to answer these questions. And that is how you add qualifying questions into the form. So you're not stuck with the standard questions that, like the forms come with. This is just to kind of make it easy for you. You can create a form, and you can also just have it as long as you want it to be. Though I don't recommend that you do that, because then your clients, they can get bored and not fill it out. But you can add these qualifying questions that will help your salespeople know how they can better, help your leads. And that's all I have for today. Any questions?
No, wait, let's see. For on my end, I don't have a question, but let's take a moment in case any of our live viewers will have a question. But and as we are waiting for that, a tip that we can also share, you can actually, I think Maria mentioned this earlier about the thank you page. So let's just expound on that one. You can actually attach or embed the calendar to a landing page so that it's prettier and branded. So that's what we do. So if you go to the Grow 360 page and then you go to the scheduling page, it's a website page. It's not only a calendar link. Yeah, I think Maria will be able to show you that. And that's
Yeah.
something that you can do too, because in Grow Genie 360, you can create a website, website page. So yeah, Grow Genie 360 website is also in the Grow Genie 360 system, or I think Lojo Marketing is also the same. But yeah, if you also go to the Lojo Marketing website, and then we have the schedule a consultation, contact us.
Sorry. I'm trying to remember all
It's
these
okay.
links, but here's
But yeah,
okay.
you
So
can
book
go
a
to there you go, book a consultation. So you see it's a website page, and then you have there a calendar embedded onto the website page. So that's something that you can do as well. So at least your booking link is branded. You can add your pictures like we have there, Steven, our sales rep, and so on. So that's just an idea. But you can, if you want the simple way of doing it, the link that will also work. Because I've also was able to book appointments with some of the companies that only do calendars, and it doesn't hurt. It's up to you. It's all about preference. So if you just simply
yeah,
want to have your calendar without it, which is not hosted or embedded in a website, that's fine too. Yeah, go ahead, Maria.
yeah. Yeah, and just to kind of like piggyback off that, you don't need to have a like you can put it on your current like WordPress website, like it's a little like widget code. And then also right here, as you can see, the link is kind of long. It says widget bookings, blah blah blah, and then
Yeah.
Diana was talking about how you can brand it, and that looks a little bit nicer. Sometimes just making a super simple page and then having a nicer, like, super simple
Mm-hmm.
URL and putting the widget in there, it just makes all the difference. Because this might be a little bit overwhelming to people. It looks a little funky when you're not,
Yeah.
when you're not really looking at it. But I do want to say, like, right here, it says link.growth360. This is something that we do help you set up during the onboarding. So it would say like link dot and then your website. It wouldn't say Growth 360 unless you didn't unless you didn't have it set up, which is something that we help with. But other than that, that is how you set up a calendar. And
Yeah, sorry, I turned off the audio on the other one because I'm hearing two voices.
yeah.
Anyway, I don't see any messages coming in. If there's anything, just like what we have been saying, you can always chat or put in your message in the comment section of this specific post. It will still be available even after today's live session. And we're always open for feedback. If there's also any specific topic that you want us to cover, because Growth Genie 360, there's a lot. You can we can like sometimes you might be wondering what's the difference between a form and a survey, things like that. They can look the same, or we can go to the payments section. We can also create like simple landing pages or funnel pages, tagging system, and so on. So I'm just giving you ideas. But for next week, let's talk about tracking metrics. Okay, so GrowGenie 360 is a powerful platform because it also has an ability to track, analytics, metrics, and so on. So we'll show you how you can simplify and make decisions on what um, metrics are relevant to your business, and how you don't have to go to other platforms to be able to track all those things. Okay, so do you have any final words just in case, Maria, or wrapping up thoughts?
No, I think we're good. And I think once we finish testing the that new calendar for like events, I think it was, then we can talk about that
Service,
too,
I
because
think.
a
Yeah,
lot
events and
serve
service,
so
those two.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of clients have specific needs for, like, if you have an event, I don't know, coming up or something that you want to host, especially right now in the spring and the summer. I feel like I always see a lot of events coming up and stuff.
Mhm.
So we'll test it and then we can talk about it a little bit more too.
Yeah, this has been fun, and it was so quick. It's already our third session
Yeah.
already. And I think we're getting the hang of it. So we were able to cover a lead follow-up system. We were able to cover pipelines and how you can use it as a decision tool, how you can like use automation, and also this time calendar, setting up a good system so that things are also automated and even branded, will look branded. So with that, we're closing this session. Wait, let me just do a final check because I saw an increase in the views earlier. Hello, and thank you for joining us. Yeah, no question in there, but if just in case we missed anything, we will just respond in the community. So thank you so much. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And then in a few days, spring begins. March 20th.
Yay.
So it's gonna be hotter. It's also starting to, yeah, we're also looking forward to get hotter here in the Philippines. But there in the US, spring begins March 20th. So exciting
Yeah.
times. And quarter
Yeah.
one, saying goodbye to the first quarter. So wow. Okay.
Yep.
So thanks, folks. We're gonna be ending this live stream now. Okay. Wait, stop. Like 3, 2, 1, bye.